Let's talk about Victor Osimhen. Yes, we talked about him last time we were here about transfers. No club actually looking at Victor Osimhen. Antonio Conte, the head coach of Napoli, he wants to reunite with Bolongoli, aka Lukaku. He wants to reunite with him, work with him. Of course, like I said, he was furious when he was unable to lay his hands on Lukaku when he was at Chelsea, where Jose Mourinho was the one who won that very battle. Moving back to Inter Milan, he was able to work with Lukaku, and he won the title. Now he's at Napoli. He's the one services of Bolongoli, and of course, it has been reported. This is a sort of good news that Paris Saint-Germain, they are advancing in talks with Victor Osimhen's camp as their interest is now getting very, very concrete. Osimhen, he's keen on joining Paris Saint-Germain. He has accepted to join them. He's open to the move if they can agree a fee with Napoli. That is where the problem is. If they can agree on a fee with Napoli, of course, we learned that Napoli, they want to reduce the valuation of Victor Osimhen if they see a club that wants him. Now that Antonio Conte, of course, wants to reunite with Lukaku, he's looking for possible ways to make sure Osimhen isn't no longer there, so that the deal with Napoli and Chelsea will happen between for Romelu Lukaku. Now, Kanute with Paris Saint-Germain, growing a very strong interest in Victor Osimhen. Of course, what is left, Osimhen is open for that very deal. What is left is for Paris Saint-Germain and Napoli to strike a deal. He is ready to make that move. Do you think Antonio Conte will aid in making sure that deal officially happens so he can lay his hands on his favorite man, Romelu Lukaku?
Yes, I think he would. He stated it clearly that he wants Lukaku, and he stated also the conditions of Osimhen's deal, that Osimhen had a gentleman agreement with the club that he's going to leave. Okay, he's going to leave this season. So just the only issue is that is the price tag with the market currently, with the financial FFP. So clubs are not able to spend the kind of money they normally would have loved to spend. It's right, the likes of PSG, Chelsea, and others that spends a lot. So but now I think even Napoli at the time were considering to reduce the price tag, because from the release clause to reduce it, because they know that money, it's almost impossible that clubs will come out to pay. Even the Saudi Pro League that everybody thought will be interested, they are not really even showing that interest in Osimhen. Is not there, but couple of interest, but it's not. So I think PSG now coming out, because Chelsea showed interest, it died down. So PSG coming out, so PSG kind of, because Osimhen is kind of stuck, although he can still remain in Napoli, but there's not like when a manager wants another person, so you have to leave. So I think even clubs, probably by now Osimhen would have thought, he will have been the hot cake in the transfer window,
the transfer market.
Exactly, but unfortunately, nobody. I don't want to relate it to anything that happened ever. But unfortunately, I just think it is the price tag. The price tag is something you can use to get two players in your team to improve your team, rather than going for one that you are not certain, you are not sure if it suits your team. So PSG, they lost a very important player. They lost like 90% of their squad. I'll put it that way. So they have to replace. They have to find a suitable replacement, a big star name, a name that scores goal. So I think coming back is a good one for Lukaku, for Osimhen, and Napoli has to now reduce that price tag, because PSG want to pay that release clause that he has.
It's not about, we are talking about the price tag of Victor Osimhen, of course, around 120 million euros plus. And now PSG, they are growing interest. Their interest is becoming very much concrete in signing Victor Osimhen from Napoli. Of course, Kylian Mbappe is no longer out there, and they need a quality player like Victor Osimhen. But we shouldn't forget that we still talked about it here, that Paris Saint-Germain are still very much interested in signing João Neves from Benfica. Of course, around 100 million plus for João Neves. How can Paris Saint-Germain play 100 million plus for João Neves, and of course still pay 100 million plus for Victor Osimhen? Don't think João Neves transfer will be like a stumbling block if Napoli refuses to reduce their valuation to a reasonable price for Paris Saint-Germain to get the man?
We talked about João Neves, and I said something that Benfica, they know how to package players, and they give you maybe sometimes they give you the player that they think that you think you want. At the end of the, maybe they withhold the main one, they give you another person. We saw other players from Benfica, when they go to other clubs, they don't do well. But when they were playing for Benfica, they were doing so well. They were prolific, doing so well, scoring goals and all that, doing what they know how to do best when it comes to their position and all that. But when they go to another club, they don't do it. So for me, I think PSG, if I'm to be there, maybe I'm the sporting director, I think I'll focus on Osimhen, then leave it down, because he's young, no doubt about that. But spending that amount of money, 120 on him, on a young lad like that, and when we know exactly what is associated with Benfica, players coming from there, I don't think PSG should be doing that. They should have been doing that. Osimhen is going to be a perfect match for them.
All right, we'll keep our eyes fixated on Victor Osimhen's transfer with Napoli and Paris Saint-Germain and see if they can finally reach a prize for Victor Osimhen to actually make that very move.